Hey guys, so in this game I want to go over something that newer players might not be 100% on or might not know, and veterans probably already doing, and that's rotating food buffs correctly. So in this game you already know that gear rules, having the best AP, the highest stats, are going to be make or break when it comes to fighting. Especially once the gear starts to get closer, the people with the right buffs are going to be the people that do the most damage. And rotating food buffs is the place you need to start. So you can have 3 to 4 food buffs running at any given time depending on the food you use. So I use 3 different types and keep them rolling. I use night combat rations for the AP and the damage reduction that you get from that. I then also use the Medaya meal, and the Medaya meal gives all AP plus 5 and cast speed plus 1. And then I use the Serendia meal, which also gives AP plus 5 and crit plus 1. So the reason I use these is it lets me get 4 cast speed and 4 crit from my gear, and then use the food to pick up the last 2 that I need. So the last 1 cast speed, the last 1 crit. It makes it a lot easier to stack different crystals, and also allows me to use AP crystals in my weapons, which is huge because 2 AP crystals, if you use the red battlefield ones, give you 10 AP in total and 4 extra AP against people. Now the thing you'll notice about these buffs is from the tooltip, the duration's 90 minutes and the cooldown's 30 minutes. So on the yellow versions of the buffs, the Serendia meals, Knight's rations and Medaya meals, you can have all 3 of them up, provided that you pop one of these every 30 minutes. So a tip that's been given to me that I haven't genuinely thought about using before by Verbs in Alpha is to keep a timer on your phone if you want to keep track of these. It's a lot easier to do on PC because you can have them on your action bar, but because we're limited to ring slot items, you're probably just going to want to keep a timer on this and just keep in your head which one you've used. So I start off with Medaya meal, I then switch to Serendia, and lastly I do the Knight's combat rations. If I'm grinding experience, I'll switch out the Knight's combat rations and use the XPT instead. Or if I'm gathering for any reason, I'll drop the Knight's combat rations in my rotation and use the Balanos meal for the extra gathering, so I'm not having to use gathering clothes, especially if I'm out gathering in an area where I'm likely going to end up in PvP. Now this is going to become a mandatory thing for you in terms of PvP content. Everybody out there is already running these buffs, they are continuously rotating these. You can, if you upgrade to the superior meals, the next step up, which are the orange meals from the marketplace, you can actually rotate 4 of them. However, there really isn't much of a need. At this moment in time, the meals that we have available were quite limited, so Serendia, Medaya, and the combat rations are pretty much the only 3 that you want. You're going to want to get these from the marketplace in pretty big stacks and just keep them on your character and keep rotating them. You get the added benefit of leveling if your health stat as well, just by consuming these meals every 30 minutes, so you want to make sure that you are doing this whenever you're playing for any length of time. Another thing to remember is that when it comes to PvP, you can stack these buffs with other buffs. So you can use your scrolls for extra HP. You can also use your elixirs. You can pick up elixirs from the marketplace. You can grab those and they stack along with the meals. And you can get the buffs from Velia as well, from the priest. So for a couple of gold bars, the priest will give you an attack buff, an experience buff, and a health buff. So 3 of those are also things that you can stack. And you can really run a massive amount of buffs. But looking on the marketplace at the cost of these meals, they're not expensive. If you can make them yourself, fantastic. If not, go and stock up on them on the marketplace now. Get hold of as many as you can and make sure that you're using these on rotation and on cooldown. This is going to really help with your grinding. Just these 3 meals alone is going to give you an extra 20 AP when it comes to PvP, or 15 when it comes to just grinding. So it really is significant. Keeping in mind that if you're using, for example, a Trizarca and a Duo offhand, you're at about 181 AP with the Asula set. Adding these food rotations on top of it is going to take you to 201 AP. That's just a significant amount that you really can't be missing out on in PvP. Realistically, if you're 20 AP behind somebody in PvP, you're just not going to do enough damage, and you're really going to lose out on those fights. So make sure that you're rotating your food buffs. Keep using them to get your health skill leveled up, and just make sure that you've always got a stock of these on hand, especially when you're going in for PvP, but they're also really useful when you're grinding. As always guys, hope this has been helpful for you. If you've got any questions, drop them in the comments section. Please give the video a thumbs up and a like, and if you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button.